Yeah, so the most annoying and irritating and frustrating part about waiting for good entries is the fact that sometimes you're just going to miss the trade entirely. And then other times where you don't wait for the good entry and you just enter anyway, all those happen to just keep going further into drawdown. And then you're like, oh, I could have entered there at the better entry, and then it turns around. So I'm going to show you what I mean here on the chart. So let's go ahead and look at it. So for example, USD CHF price had come up into this zone this week, spiked up into it, and then on Monday had twisted around and then started to reject. So this was actually Tuesday, sorry. And then what I had done is I entered right here where this horizontal line is. Now, what did the trade look like, right? It's just a bounce of resistance, right? This is resistance here, bouncing as support, broke below, came back to retest as resistance, and started to bounce. That's why I took the trade. Very, very simple. Got a lot of videos about this on my channel. And so the trade looked essentially something like this, right? So 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, the entries there. And then lo and behold, price spikes up. And then I'm sitting here looking like, okay, man, that's annoying. I could have entered up there. And what's even more annoying is when you set your alerts to take trades and then it just misses that entry, right? It's a really, really annoying part about waiting for good entries. So check this out. Up here in this resistance zone, price had pinned all the way up into here, all the way up into here. And then so I set an alert at where I thought would be reasonable, right? So up there, and I could have entered right there. Stop loss way above the zone, target below. The stop loss probably wouldn't even get hit. If price started breaking above, I could just close it early for like a partial loss, risk like $40,000 or $50,000 on this. But instead, no, this happened. So I missed this entry. We're gonna see how much this entry was missed by. Let's see, can it even go? Yeah, so literally 1 pip. See that where it says 1.0, 1.1? Yeah, 1 pip. And now I would be in, I don't know, I literally missed 30 or 40, maybe even $50,000 of potential profit on that. Not only that, but wait, there's more. I'm going to show you this one here. USD JPY. I'm sorry, not AUD JPY. All right, AUD JPY. This alert, I've had this alert right here. And then instead of, maybe entering halfway into the zone, right, I was thinking like, okay, I'm already in a trade. I was already in USD CHF. I'd already had a winning trade this week, which we'll talk about here in a second. So I was thinking, okay, sweet. I will just set an alert right here at the extreme high. That way, if we get a crazy blow off top to that location, that will be the best risk structure up here. To have an entry right there at the resistance zone, a stop loss, on the other side of it, and look how quick the target can be hit, right? Something real easy like that. If I enter like right here in the middle of the zone, now just to get a 1-to-1, the profit target has to be all the way down here. And that's with the same stop and same target. Now, some would argue that's perfectly fine. If you get an even shittier entry right here, just to get a 1-to-1 target, now you have to target all the way down there, let alone a 1-to-2 if you're going for a 1-to-2. It's way harder. So generally speaking, like it's worth waiting for good entries, but it's annoying sometimes. You're going to be missing perfectly fine trades if you are waiting for entries that are the most optimal. Now, what is the most optimal entry? The most optimal entry is just an entry inside a major support resistance zone. And again, we say major. These are all subjective terms. Support and resistance zones in the daily and 4-hour chart. If you're drawing them there and you're waiting for entries inside of those zones and putting your stop on the other side and your target somewhere on the other side with like a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, it doesn't matter because you're going to be managing it dynamically. You're going to be watching the price action. As long as you're entering at the zones, that is what's most important. Generally speaking, I enter about halfway into the zone. Sometime I'll wait for price to push even deeper into the zone before entering, just based on where all the wicks of the previous candles at the zone are getting formed at. So it's a lot of different stuff, but I just want to put this video out because I'm sure a lot of you guys go through the same stuff. This week so far has been a pretty good week so far. I took 2 trades this week. So the first one I took was on, what was it? All right, so the first trade I took was, Euro USD. Okay, sweet. So this one, look how simple this trade was. When I called this trade out, this is on September 1st, so what was that, 4 days ago, so on Monday. I called this trade out. Look at how ridiculously simple this was. It's a sell at a resistance zone, right? And now my entry's it's not crazy high up here around the previous wicks. That would have been nice, right? But it's also not like below the zone or any weird location, right? It's like it's inside the zone where these highs are. And if we go here to the Euro USD chart, what you will see, my sweet friend, is you will see that price just had a reversion right there at the zone, right? It just had a straight up reversal. Whenever you have clear zones like this, right? it becomes very, very easy to manage risk, right? Because you're not entering down here with a stop above the zone, and you're having to target a 1-to-1 risk reward ratios like all the way down here. When you enter at the zone, like my entry was like probably like right there, and the target was a 1-to-1, it just has to fall away just barely for you to get the profit target hit, and it becomes very easy to get into trades like that, and they oftentimes work out even better and easier and quicker. Your trade duration shorter. So for a trade like this, like we've got a support zone here, right? Some people would draw it way over here. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be using these recent lows to reference. Something like this, I would set my alert probably like right here. And guess what? If you're setting your alert somewhere like down here, yes, you might get a really good entry, but you're going to be missing a lot of good trades. Like I said, I've already missed 2 trades this week, AED CAD and AED JPY. That could have made me anywhere from a total of 70 to 80 to maybe even 90 or $100,000. My God, that's so much money that I just missed. I could have made that, but instead, since I was waiting for a little bit too, like conservative of an entry, I didn't get an entry. All right, so I missed the trading opportunity. Super frustrating, super annoying, super irritating. But if you're waiting for entries like midway through the zone, what you have to do is you have to recognize that, yes, I could enter there, and then yes, price could immediately start going against me and still be perfectly valid. So let's say it gets there and you enter, it could go against you, and it could even technically break the zone just a little bit, as long as it's not like a huge breakout. If it just pops below, but then it quickly pops right back above, those are usually worth a shot and fine to stay in, because price all the time will break past recent highs and then continue going in the original direction. So that's why you don't see me putting stops like that, right? My stops are like generally distance far from the zone to give me some place to manage the trade. So yeah, with this one, like I'm going to set my alert right here on Euro USD, and that should work out. The resistance zone that I sold from up here made me like $35,000. Yeah, it hit the profit target. So that's what it looked like at the time. $35,000 risk on a $400,000 account, so just under 10% risk. This is where I called it out. This right here, you could see it was the sell, started going into profit, $7,000 profit, and then I posted here, when was this? The next day? Yeah, it took one day. Euro USD hit the profit target last night for $35,000. It went all the way in there, and that was the P&L right there, even after the fees and commissions, right? It's like, I actually got a positive swap on it, $300, and the commissions were $200. Then this is the other trade I entered, right? USD CHF. I entered this trade. Check it out. The entry, it's not as beautiful, because had I just entered like further up in here, that would have been an entry where price has a propensity to go into profit quicker, and the profit target wouldn't need to be this far. And also, it would just be like the risk structure would be so much easier, because with the same stop loss, the profit target could be shorter and I could make the same amount of money, right? The only thing that would change is the lot size would probably be a little bit different, since the stop loss will be closer. But I've risked $40,000 on this to go for $40,000 of potential profit. And I'm still sitting in this trade, right? This was the second, and it's the fourth, so this was 2 days ago. And let's see, is she going to work out or is she not? I'm still in it. So, we're going to find out what happens. But that's kind of those are kind of the back and forths you have to deal with. If you're entering at entries like, honestly, maybe I shouldn't have entered like right here. But, even have trading for like a decade, like I don't want to call them mistakes, because it's hard to say anything is a mistake in trading because everything's so subjective. But it's like I still do stuff like this where I'm like, yeah, it looks fine to enter based on the context. So I enter, and then boom, as soon as I enter, it goes deeper into the zone. And I'm like, wow, if I had just like waited for like an entry here in the zone, the trade would look something like this instead, right? It'd look like this would be my entry up here. And then my stop would be the same location, but then my profit target would be like a 1-to-1. That would have already gotten hit. That would have literally gotten hit within a few candles in the 4-hour chart. So same day. And then, so that's the kind of stuff that happens. Like, if you're not waiting for good entries, then sometimes the trade, like it's like today, I've been sitting in this trade 2-3 days, still waiting for it to do something. And I don't even know if this will work out, right? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. And then on top of that, if you don't wait for good entries, right, then sometimes you miss trades like this, where it missed by 1 literal pip and it's about to hit the original profit target. Or you have like AED JPY where, it got to this region up here, but my alert was right there. So had I just entered like midway through the zone, put a stop above the zone and a target at 1-to-1, this would be well on its, wow, it would have already hit. Wow. That's so painful to watch that. That's like I said, that's why the title of this video was like its most annoying thing, because you have to watch trades that, you could have gotten into, but you were just trying to be good. You were trying to wait for a little bit better of an entry and it just didn't work out. So there's all that. Anyway, just want to get this video out to you guys just to show you and just to kind of help you keep in mind. You don't have to get your entries perfect. Your entries don't have to be at the tip top of all the wicks of the zone. But then again, you don't want to be entering like below the zone or before the zone, right? If you're selling at resistance, you don't want to enter a sell below the resistance zone. You want to enter like somewhere inside the zone, generally speaking, at least halfway into it. And if it happens to be the case that you get an even better entry than that, it just means that your stop can just go on the other side of the zone, and then your profit targets can be much shorter if you're getting a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio. It's very simple. I call every single trade out in my group, so if you want to follow all my trades live, the little Discord group I just showed you, click the link in the description. You can join that. You can subscribe to that and follow all my trades. I call them all in there. I've done this for like 7 years, so hopefully I'll see you in there if you want to follow my trades. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, my friend.